Today's adventure begins on a very foggy early morning as the recording of this Sunday, December 5th, 2021. The sun is rising, looking very golden. They say that nothing gold can stay. So a fitting beginning to this episode. This sunrise. Beautiful. Welcome everyone. TheDailyWoo here, over my shoulder, downtown Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in this area are the filming locations of the 1983 classic, The Outsiders, with an ensemble cast, if ever there was one. Back in 2012, I did a filming location video of the spots around town. And at that point, the Curtis home, the Outsiders house, was a private residence and needed a little bit of work. It sat empty for quite some time and is now a museum full of artifacts from the movie and is open for guests to see with their own eyes. And that's what I'm going to do. I have returned to Tulsa to document this experience and see the Outsiders house in all its glory. I'm inviting you to join me. Shall you? Right here on this street corner, and they have changed the names in honor of the film. Curtis Brothers Lane and Outsiders Way. And it's the same fence. Yeah, it's the same fence here with the same bend in it. I'm happy to report the bend in the fence is still there. This is the same fence that Patrick Swayze did a little handstand on. Right here in this spot. And right over here, this is pieces of the original fountain from the park. It's a couple blocks away where that scene with Machio was. This is part of the original fountain. That's amazing. I was wondering what happened to that. Looks the same. Obviously been restored on the inside, but the outside looks identical. Some Christmas lights up because it is December. Just can't get over this fence, this original fence that's still here. Right there. Patrick Swayze put his hands right there, stood, did a little stand up, flipped over. And all of them, as they were heading over to the park to the Rumble, were all right in here, getting pumped, getting hyped, heading over. There's an El Camino parked out front here too. And they have some no parking signs. I had to park down the way just a little bit, about a block down the way. I would imagine this area fills up and the residents don't care to have parking. All in the neighborhood. God, this is awesome. This whole area just feels like you're in the movie. Still kind of getting ready, but I'm going to be able to go inside shortly. Still got a few minutes. I was just informed that these pieces of concrete that made up a fountain are 500 pounds each, and it was no small task getting them moved and where they had found them back over to here. They had to do up a couple pieces at a time and put a mattress in between the two pieces. That way they didn't break them. They don't want them to break. That's incredible. That's the fountain right there. well, pieces of the fountain have been rediscovered. Now, I did pass through here one time since I did the filming locations in 2012, probably 5 years ago or so, and kind of peeked in the window and it was all gutted out. But it's all been restored since then. I'm excited to get in there. And you can purchase tickets to do the tour inside the house. This is looking from the back of the property around, but this washboard designates. Tickets are available in the gift shop there. You were in the movie, you said?
Yes.
If I were to watch it back, where would I see you in the film?
It's the key element is I think it's about the second scene, and they start the song Gloria.
Okay.
And it's a knife fight.
Okay.
In it, and
are you wielding a knife?
There's no self-respecting greaser that never takes his knife anywhere. And
Okay.
I actually, in one, I went to grab it like that, but the scene that I think was kept, I was just getting ready to rumble.
Excellent. I'm gonna watch it back and look for you.
Yeah, it's there.
That's awesome.
It's there.
And you volunteer here?
Yes, I do.
So do you use the bus over here to do like the location tours?
Yeah, we used to use that for the location tours, but COVID kind of put a kibosh on it.
Okay. I remember a while back you couldn't just pull up. This is a few years ago. You couldn't just pull up to the house and go in the museum. You had to go into town and buy a ticket, and then get on the bus and come over here.
Yeah, and then it was taking all the locations.
Is that because of the parking and stuff?
Right. And then we built the parking lot.
Okay.
Got it all squared away.
But you don't do the location tours anymore?
No.
Just the tour of the house? All right.
Well, I'm gonna have Mike give you the tour.
Okay. Oh, so this is the cake where he was sitting.
Yeah.
Sitting right over here.
We got a little white dot, so you can
Kind of match it up.
match it up and do the whole scene right here. You can tell right here. This is what we, the only thing we kept. Oh, let's do it. So we kept the living room and dining room floors. These are the original. Everything else we tore down to the bones. As you can see in this picture right here, that's Danny coming out of the bathroom right here.
Oh yeah.
So it's as you can see the entire house we had to gut.
Yeah, probably 4 or 5 years ago I came by here and I peeked in the window and nothing was done yet, and it looked like that.
Oh yeah, that's when we came in here and we tore it all out ourselves and rebuilt it all ourselves.
Are we open?
It looks great.
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I know the routine back there.
This is amazing. Here's the bathroom. And these are all screen used outfits from the
Yeah,
film?
all the wardrobes original. Hasn't been washed since '82, so you're
Oh.
and stuff like Cruz's Rumble outfit still covered in mud.
No way.
Diane Lane's skirt still has a Coke stain.
Where's Tom Cruise's outfit at?
That's right here.
Oh, that's so cool. It's amazing in here. It looks so good.
You got both of Emilio's shirts.
Oh, the Mickey shirt. Oh yeah, with the stains on and everything.
There's his jeans we just got in, so we got a.
Those are Emilio's?
It was a 28, by the way.
Holy cow, that's tiny.
And you got Cruz's right here.
And he hasn't been washed since he worn it? Wow.
And,
That's what he's wearing when they all run out the front door into the street corner and all that?
he pretty much picked the same outfit the entire time.
This is great how you have all the photos that match it all up.
Hey, Mike.
Wow.
Then if you like this
And
one.
those are the tracks right over there, right a couple blocks away.
Yep.
Good.
Old time greaser right there. Hungry?
Well, I had breakfast already.
You hungry, Adam?
Oh no, I'm good. Thank you though. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yep. You can do voiceover over that, so that's what you don't mind what we're saying here.
Oh yeah, I just let it all roll. And I love the fact that you can hear the train horn off in the distance. And So both of the gentlemen up on the porch were both in the film, which is pretty awesome.
If this guy gets to talking, he won't.
A little behind the scenes. Any fun stories from the filming?
Well, basically, I got a screen test for the movie The Outsiders because my forte was I cut my teeth on stage, Shakespearean actor.
Okay.
And I was recognized somewhat, and I believe it was Zeo Troop, Joey? Zeo Troop, the first Outsiders? Yeah. Had a casting director approach me, and I was taking a nap on the couch in the green room, and I said, "Get away from me, leave me alone." And she come in and says, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you tomorrow morning," and because before I did Shakespeare, I was with a rock and roll group called Eddie and the Eclectics at the
Were you in that cast?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I heard.
In fact, I was a greaser. The same jacket.
I never saw the show, but I heard about it.
Oh,
I
it
wish
was
I
good.
had it.
I'll tell you, it was packed, standing room only.
I don't know why I didn't go.
So the casting director actually noticed me in the show because I was a greaser,
Yeah.
leather jacket and all that, and I got in the movie. But me and Joe, we go back
Yeah, we knew each other.
way
Okay.
back.
We used to hang out at biker bars.
Okay. And you took a lot of photos.
Good morning.
You took a lot of photos of all behind the scenes stuff that you have inside.
My name is Joey Quinn, and that's Jody Savannah. We both acquired the Outsiders movie.
And more or less learned how to use it. As a matter of fact, I was taking a photography course during the film.
That train is loud, isn't it?
That's every 15 minutes.
Oh, it's moving slow too.
I think that actually was in the movie.
That's true. Yeah. Did you know when you were taking all the pictures that you had a very big piece of cinematic history left over?
No, I didn't. I had no idea what was going to
Yeah.
happen later.
Thankfully you did. I'll go in and look at those in a minute. What was your name again? Joe? Nice to meet you,
I grew
Joe.
up in this neighborhood too.
You grew up in this neighborhood. Excellent. Thanks, Joe.
Those lifted the back up, but then to do all that, we had to rip it down to the bones. So inside, this is really a flip the house like those TV shows you see. It's got new plumbing, new electric, new insulation. If you look above you, we have recessed lighting, central heat and air. We played the soundtrack of the original 1982 movie out throughout the whole house. We had to replace the front door, make a custom door because that had been changed out. We have to have exit signs front and back. We have to have smoke detectors. And we have cameras in every room because all the clothes in here, which they call wardrobe, was actually worn by the actor or an extra in the movie. We put the walls back together, mud taped, sheetrocked it, painted it this ceiling color throughout the whole house, and then came back in with a DVD player and a TV and actually watched the movie and tried to figure out the 5 rooms that you see here, how to make them look the most like they were in the movie. So this room was the toughest because different camera angles, day scenes, night scenes, door open, window blinds shut.
You'll see the watermarks from the fountain, from the scene with the fountain. Look, you see the stains from the water there. And here's that photograph of Swayze standing up on the fence. That's the same fence that's out there.
And different areas that look different. We have deals, so we tar photo painted that part through there. This wall here was wallpaper. That's back in 1982, almost 40 years ago. So there's no way to find wallpaper all over 3 times.
You make movies?
I do videos for YouTube, so I just kind of travel around the country and film things. A lot of movie history and theme park stuff and Americana, Route 66, and just a lot of different stuff.
We replaced the cabinets that had been taken out. But when we painted that room, you didn't have Instant Pots, air fryer, microwaves. You cooked in grease, chicken fish, steak and eggs. So it splattered the walls. If you ever burn anything, it would just stain the wall. And then you probably have seen this movie before where Rob gets out of the shower.
No, we have not. I close my eyes every time.
With that room, there's no ventilation in those rooms either back then. With it kind of like more sharp walls, like that.
Now they usually have the soundtrack playing through here, and I asked if they would be kind enough just to turn it down so that I could film through here, because sometimes music doesn't go too well on the platform, obviously, but they usually do have it themed with the music. If they were nice enough to turn it off just for a few moments, just so I could kind of get these angles here. Oh, look at that. There's the window there where he's sitting there writing. There's the window. They have gone to very great detail, even putting the pencil sharpener shown there. Very, very detailed. I love this kind of stuff. I've always wanted to own, you know, it's kind of always been like a pipe dream, but bucket list would be to own a home from one of my favorite films. So this is pretty dang awesome. And top-notch recreation of everything. I'm impressed. I'm also really happy to see there's a pretty good turnout of people in here. You might remember him from the Ernest films, the Jim Varney movies, Ernest Saves Christmas, Ernest Goes to Camp. I believe he was a Tulsa resident who was also in The Outsiders. Oh wow, this is the sign here, the 11th Street Cleaner sign. Okay, from what I recall when I was here back in 2012, these buildings were torn down. I think this whole block is gone now, where they're walking up the slight incline of the hill. But the 11th Street Cleaner sign, which can be seen there, they have acquired that also. That's pretty awesome. I love the squeakiness of the floors too. This is well worth stopping off at if you're in the Tulsa area, or even making the pilgrimage if you're a fan of the movie, which I am. You know what really gets me? I kind of mentioned this a moment ago, but the fact that they have Emilio's Mickey shirts. Oh my God. I wear a lot of Mickey shirts, so I can kind of relate. Both of Emilio's shirts. The one here, where he's in the living room, or at least in the front room there, which is shown there. And then this one here, where he's got the knife. Awesome.
Okay, so the movie was shot March, April 9. You see the clapperboard there where they go action and cut. And they shot this movie sequentially with the script. So started in March, I think around St. Patrick's Day. And so you see the last date on that, May 29th, 1982. People have really enjoyed working in Tulsa. Over by the park, about 2 blocks away, he had rented Roll Elementary. It was a defunct elementary school that they were using for their Tulsa studio. So instead of classrooms, they turned those into offices, accounting, wardrobe. And so in the gymnasium is where they practiced the rumble, did calisthenics and things like that. But he really enjoyed working with Susie and said, hey, don't you got a couple more books? He read, Rumblefish. They agreed to do that, black and white, downtown. So he took off about a couple weeks. In June, came back in July and August, started doing production on rumblefish.
So it was really close proximity to just right
And
after.
it's very, very rare you go from one production to the next, but of course they already had everything here. They had used some of the same extras, brought people back. Stuff. They just pretty much gave everybody a two week. Some of the people got a month break and came back. But during the film of that downtown, one of the night scenes, there was homeless gentleman, kind of hanging around, not bothering anybody ever. And but one night he decided he just wanted that chair, picked it up, and started walking off with it. And at first, the production assistants were like, "What's he doing? Where's he going? Did I tell him to do that?"
Right.
And finally, somebody got a hold of Francis, pointed to the guy walking away with it. He goes, "What do you want to do? You want to get him, tackle it, pull it?" He said, "I'll just let him have it." Back in 1982, that probably was worth $25, $30. Not that big of an expense. Let him have it. Then back in the fall, the police get a call at a you told them a convenience store here. When the clerk went out at midnight to throw away the trash, the clerk saw a gentleman leaned up against the dumpster with a big pile of stuff with him. He
that was the chair.
called the police and he said, "Hey, I don't care if the guy's out there, but 4:35 in the morning, when the dumpster comes to dump the trash, they're just going to back up, probably run that guy right over, kill him, and he'll never know. He'll never, they'll never hear him scream." And so the cops come. A policeman named Gary shows up, wakes him up, says, "Hey, buddy, we just need to move you out of the way. You're not in any trouble or anything, but you don't want to get here when the dumpster gets here, or be here when the dumpster gets here." So he turns around, helps him move the stuff out of the way. At the bottom of the pile, there's a director's chair.
That is amazing.
So Gary worked in this area. He knew that it was stolen. Wasn't that big a deal, but he said, "Hey, obviously you're not Francis Ford Coppola."
Right.
He goes, "Did you steal that downtown?" He goes, "No." He goes, "Well, what are you doing with it?" He said, "I traded the guy for it." And he goes, "Well, it's not yours. I really can't, let you keep that. I know it was stolen. I know it's not yours. So I'll just take it off your hands," assuming that he could put two and two together, get it to someone that could get it to back to Francis. Back then we had cash on delivery, where you'd actually send something to somebody. When they got the package, they would pay for the shipping instead of you paid as we do now. Anyway, never worked out. Kept it safe all these years, and back in I think 2000, was it 11 or? Anyway, he basically contacted us and said, "Hey, I got some belongs to you guys." Brought that chair, so that was the first actual donation from the community. We got the Johnny Cade screen-worn jean jacket and jean from Planet Hollywood. They were closing and shutting down some of their locations, selling off merchandise.
So these were Macchio's shoes, right?
Yeah, Ralph gave us the shoes, but the jeans and jean jacket, most actors that were in multiple scenes had 3 to 5 copies of the same outfit. But Johnny Cade, the down and out kid, don't know if maybe he had one, maybe 2, but there was only one available that we knew of. So we won that auction to get that, but the shoes came from Ralph Macchio himself that he gave us.
That is cool, really cool.
That's the original copy of the 1967 version of that. Donnie is in Tulsa working on, kicking the walls and trying to see how bad this thing is to rebuild. Danny's trying to figure out what are you going to put in the museum. He searched the biggest auction website in the world, eBay, and what do you come up with? Books.
A lot of books.
Books been in print for 54 years, 15 million copies, still sells 500,000 copies a year. So we've got books in Japanese, French, Italian. They did different covers over the years. When the movie came out, they replaced the cover with the artwork from the movie. And so a lot of different versions like that.
Oh, that's the fence cap right there from out front.
Yeah, this was one that supposedly Rob Lowe had signed at one point. Neighbor had saw that.
So that's the original fence.
Yeah. There was a kid bought a car down here and went around the block for a test drove, bought the car, gunned it, turned the corner, hit the fence over here. But all the front is original. And you'll see where, if we open the door here, so when Patrick Swayze, when they go to the Rumble and they do the big Rumble scene, Patrick Swayze runs out here. You see how the fence is pulled down right there?
Yeah.
So that's, they pulled the fence down, they braced it, and he jumped on apple blocks in this little height. And then show you in the actual
That's cool.
That's cool.
Y'all rock. And y'all do this every weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah? Awesome.
Awesome.
So
Yeah,
much
that's
fun.
cool.
That's
Now,
neat.
Joey and I are the genuine article.
We knew each other before the movie.
Really?
Oh, yeah, we
We used to
did.
hang out at biker bars.
Wow.
Wow.
Cool. We had to repair all that. In doing so, if you see in the fireplace here, we took the rest of the house down to the bones. Kind of like those TV shows, Flip the House. They get lots of way to the park.
And then Danny called her and said, we really would like to have that window back. She said, okay.
So we
I'll
put it
send
back
it to you.
together.
He said, no.
We painted this ceiling color.
He went and got it?
Down and get it. So he went to Florida to get
Throughout the
it.
whole house.
So that's in the same spot as it was in the movie, the stained glass?
And washed it, because these are the 5 rooms you see in the movie. We had to paint this to look like
That's
it
cool.
was smoking. And people used to watch TV, smoke cigarettes, so there would be different walls that looked, white, cream, gray. So we had an artist draw that design, make a stencil out of that from that screenshot, and then paint that over 3 nights. They'd come in and paint that, but we made it look like it was rubbed off in places. In the corners, you can see where it peeled off because that wallpaper would dry up in the corners.
Yeah.
And in my house in Joplin, where our parents lived, like that, corners would always start flaking off. The kitchen cabinets from this thing here, they had been replaced, so we tore those out and built new kitchen cabinets. But kitchens back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, you didn't have microwaves, Instant Pots, air fryers. You had a stove and you had a countertop where you cook with grease and bacon lard. And so you were cooking bacon, eggs, fish, chicken, greasy foods that would splatter, stain the walls, coat them, and if you ever burned anything, you would have, the smoke had no place to go because you didn't have windows. So we painted that room to look like that, and then, of course, in the bathroom here, painting scene where Rob Lowe gets out of the shower. You can see the difference from the wall where Tom Cruise is sitting right there. This wall color versus the bathroom. They didn't have vent hoods back then, or ventilation back then either. So when you take the shower, shading, doing a bath, the water, the moisture would kind of coat the walls. The dirt in the air from the smoke, the grease would coat the walls, give it kind of a yellow look. So that all is Tony Wood's bedroom here. So these are the 5 rooms you see. We have 3 others. And I tell you that just tell you authentic. We try to make the experience for you.
It's so nice.
I was just informed here, the little carving here, little indentation here on the side of the post is still the same, where Matt Dillon's standing right here. Had to come out and take a look at that. And there's a little kind of screen grab of it with him standing against there, and then there's those there's the wording
Nothing majorly.
right down there.
No, I like to.
Are these the originals too? I'm noticing they look very similar.
Very simple.
Just a recreation?
Yeah, and that's how this whole thing got built. A lot of people will step up and go, hey, my aunt, passed away 2 months ago. She's got some of this, or, she's got something similar. And
Well, I wouldn't call it a recreation. They're the same style, so you had to find ones,
Yeah.
from that era that looked identical to what they were sitting out here.
yeah, and if you come sit on it, you get actual authentic wrestling.
Russ, you get the rough, yeah. You get a little tetanus shot beforehand.
Yeah. And you got a picture of this down here?
I did, yeah. That's incredible. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Because they didn't, nobody, you see over the years that the, rain and the wind, probably hail, damaged that, but it's cut in there.
You said there's a story about the El Camino?
No.
Or it's just someone that wrote random El Camino there?
No. See Breaking Bad?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
I just did the Breaking Bad filming locations. I was in Albuquerque the other day.
Their movie El Camino.
El Camino. A follow-up.
Jesse Plemons, the redhead.
Oh, yeah.
He was here during the filming of Killers of Flower Moon.
Okay.
He came about 3 or 4 weeks after.
He played Todd in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Todd.
And he came after during that filming, about 3 weeks after Leonardo DiCaprio came. He brought 2 or 3 other actors, including Brendan Fraser.
Did you know they were going to show up, or did Leo just pop
Leo
in?
just showed up. That was crazy.
How
thing.
random.
because museums. He goes to museums, and I guess this is something he's done with his dad. So when he's out on set to break up the monotony, on his days off, he tries to find any
that's cool
museum, and came across this. And I guess the bodyguard dropped him off. He goes back to the back. Bodyguard's trying to figure out a place to park. Leo goes back in the back, and
that is pretty amazing. Imagine just being here and Leonardo DiCaprio walks in. Were you here when Leonardo DiCaprio came up?
I wasn't there that day.
You were here that day.
Ability. So, all the pictures. You notice Patrick's always standing on bricks to make himself taller.
Oh yeah, sure.
So every time he signed something, he would circle it and write bricks.
Over here behind the house in this far back building is the gift shop, and inside the gift shop they have a lot of other screen used outfits that were worn by the actors in the film itself. A nice variety of things. As well as merchandise, obviously. T-shirts, magnets, stickers, pins, things like that. But yeah, quite an array of not only props and merchandise in the gift shop as well. And if you walk around the side, they have restored this as well. This was also seen in the film. If I remember correctly, there was an angle here that was used. And this is on the same property. Back in 2012, the first time I came through here, I thought, man, I'd really like to get inside this house, but someone was living here and was not feasible at the time. I never thought I'd be able to, but today I did. I was able to go inside. Well worth it, as stated. If you're in the area, come check it out. Tickets can be purchased at the gift shop. You can go inside and tour the Curtis house from the outsiders. Right next to the train tracks. And where the fountain was, that they have pieces of, just a couple blocks away. And where the rumble was, a couple blocks away too. One other thing they pointed out here when Swayze did the little stand-up, did his little somersault stand-up over here at the fence, they put some bars here to give it a little stanchions to make this a little sturdier. So they had some support beams that went down to the ground there because they knew he was going to stand up on the fence. And then Tom Cruise, right over here, did a backflip off of a car that was parked right there.
The house done. This is where all the celebrities take a picture. This is where Leonardo DiCaprio stood when he was here to take his picture.
Yeah.
It's not too often you get two extras in the movie actually hanging out at the house.
Hanging out. We're gonna take our picture up here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were on.
Yeah, well, you was that.
Here's the original stained glass window that was showing from the inside.
No, but I had some friends over here.
And I also was informed of something. There's some signatures inside, and the actress from Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 1, she was in it. She signed the wall. And that's gonna do it for today from the Outsider's house, the Curtis house, from the film. This is awesome. As stated, something I have always wanted to do but never never went that route to take a home from one of my favorite movies, purchase it, restore it. This is great. It's a classic film, The Outsiders. And just think of Swayze right there, going over the fence. Tom Cruise flipping off the car right there, doing the backflip off the car. Well, he wasn't using his middle finger to flip off the car. Maybe he did. Maybe it was a deleted scene. Probably not. You know what I mean? See Thomas Howell. Quite an ensemble cast. All right inside this house and around the neighborhood, in the backyard, side yard. See you in the next video. Vlog. Dog over there making some noise. The vlog is over.
We're all going.
Oh yeah, so you've already started putting the bricks
Yeah,
here.
they're gonna finish and fix them all on next Friday and Saturday.
So if I buy one now, it'll be there next Saturday, Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday?
it probably takes about 3 weeks to get them in.
Okay, that's pretty cool. All right.
So.
Also ended up purchasing a few items. Got this t-shirt. This is on the front. Francis Ford Coppola Presents. And then as well as a Stay Gold emblem there on the front of this one. Got a couple of tees. And then a sticker here. And a pin, which is sliding off. There it is. Right there. You see my reflection in there, but that's okay. Just like this shirt Emilio wore. And I asked about getting the brick along the side, so they were $100. So if they don't do them on site, you have to go online onto the site, which plenty of information on there too. Easily searchable if you're interested. What a way to end it, with the ambiance of the train going by